Looking closely, it appears someone took a white canvas and flicked a paintbrush loaded with red, orange, and black paint directly across its scales. When this strange aesthetic first appeared in the reptile hobby in the early 2000s, it triggered a massive feeding frenzy among serious collectors. This chart tracks the market value of these early specimens. You can see the initial demand drove peak prices to between $4,000 and $6,000 per animal. People paying those premiums assumed they were buying into a standard, hidden genetic mutation, a recessive trait that would be slow and difficult to reproduce. But the market had the biology backward. That genetic misunderstanding is why those prices plummeted down the right side of the axis, settling into today's range of $300 to $800. To understand how a boutique morph market collapses so quickly, we have to look under the hood and decode the specific biological glitch that creates the snake. The Palmetto gene does not behave as a simple recessive trait. It operates through incomplete dominance. A persistent myth on internet forums is that a normal-looking snake can secretly carry the visual Palmetto trait. In reality, a hidden carrier simply does not exist. When a snake inherits just a single copy of the gene, it always produces the visual Palmetto with scattered colored spots. If it receives 2 copies, the outcome shifts. The offspring becomes a super Palmetto, an almost entirely white snake with heavily reduced spotting. Because a breeder only needs 1 visual Palmetto paired with a standard normal snake to guarantee a clutch that is 50% visual Palmettos, reproduction is highly efficient. Breeders quickly scaled up their populations. A dominant trait is nearly impossible to gatekeep. As more breeders easily reproduced the snakes, supply caught up with demand, naturally correcting the initial artificial scarcity and bringing prices down to an accessible level. Beyond the economics, the Palmetto breaks from the repeating, bilaterally symmetrical saddle patterns seen in almost every other corn snake variety. Its spots are distributed unpredictably. The gene responsible for this look doesn't actually contain a blueprint for a specific spotted layout. Instead, the mutation acts as a biological disruptor inside the egg. During embryonic development, it scrambles the normal migration pathways of pigment cells, known as chromatophores. This animation shows the normal process, where pigment cells march into organized, repeating blotches. Under the influence of the Palmetto gene, those cells are scattered aimlessly across the snake's body. Because this distribution happens dynamically as the embryo grows, microscopic variations in timing and cell movement dictate exactly where the pigment lands. The practical result is that 2 siblings hatching from the exact same clutch, from the exact same parents, will display entirely different spot layouts. By disrupting the migration of these cells, the mutation ensures that every individual ends up with a biologically unique, unrepeatable layout. Breeders now use this white base as a blank canvas, pairing it with other genetic mutations to isolate and alter the colors of the scattered spots. The anerythristic mutation, or Anery, strips out all red and orange pigment. Applied to a Palmetto, the snake is left completely white, dotted only with stark graphite and black spots. Conversely, the Amelanistic combo removes dark melanin. This leaves a warm, pure white snake covered in vivid orange-red spots, paired with striking pink eyes. As these complex combos hit the market, buyers need to watch out for predatory listings. Because the trait is incomplete dominant, anyone selling a normal-looking snake as a het Palmetto is misrepresenting the genetics. Similarly, a snake with very few spots shouldn't be priced as a Plenium super Palmetto unless the seller provides documentation proving both parents were visual Palmettos. Visual evidence alone can be highly misleading when layering complex genetics. Navigating today's market safely requires verifying parental documentation before spending your money. While their stark white base and scattered spots look like a significant departure from wild snakes, palmettos are remarkably hardy. The gene strictly affects pigment migration. Their physiology, metabolism, and immune systems are identical to a standard wild-type corn snake. Husbandry comes down to optimizing their visual impact. Instead of standard pale wood shavings, dark coconut fiber substrate creates a sharp contrast that makes the snake's white scales visibly pop. You should also pair the enclosure with cool white daylight bulbs. Warm yellow lighting washes out the natural contrast and dulls the saturation of the spots. Keeping a palmetto is about curating a living display of natural probability. For detailed morph comparisons, genetic odds, and a list of verified habitat gear, check out Krawlo's comprehensive care guide.